Welcome to my channel. I'm Charlene, and before we go any further in this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, okay? So I just want to say I'm really excited that Wendy Williams seems to be going out, getting her groove back, partying, socializing, drinking, eating, and having, you know, a grand time with her life ever since she's filed for divorce from her husband, Kevin Hunter, okay? So recently, Wendy Williams had the infamous Blac Chyna on her show, and everybody knows that Wendy Williams goes in on Ms. Blac Chyna, aka Angela White.
So, we talk about you a lot on Hot Topics.
I know.
And you're very controversial.
Thank you.
Did your hairstylist really throw a can at your car and you all fought? That's the most recent thing that we heard from the TMZ.
You know what? It's always been a hot topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that hairstylist here today?
No.
Okay. Fired?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A legal thing? You can't
Yes,
talk
yes,
too much?
ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Look, like I said, you're in a safe place. Just
Yeah.
straight talk. If you can't talk about something,
Yeah,
just
no,
let
I
me
can't
know.
talk about it right now.
Okay. Otherwise, you know, you realize that she's here and said, "Oh, nothing off limits," which is great.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't come here like that. So, how's your son and your daughter?
Both of my kids are good. King is good. Yeah.
So Wendy has admitted that she talks about Blac Chyna, she brings up, you know, her drama and talks about the Kardashians, and Blac Chyna seemed to be very understanding and very open and just like, hey, I know why I'm here. I know who you are. Let's talk about it. Let's get all these things out. And Wendy Williams did say in the show that, you know, I'm sorry, not Angela. That's her real name, actually. Blac Chyna didn't hold anything back. You know, Blac Chyna came into the studio and basically told Wendy Williams, you know, you can ask me anything. We can talk about anything. And obviously, I think Wendy Williams really liked that, okay? So like I said before, you know, Wendy Williams has been going out, and apparently after Blac Chyna was on her show, they actually went out that night and got dinner, and I believe it was Wendy Williams, Blac Chyna, her son, who I don't think is 21. They were at a restaurant though. Her son and DJ Booth, and probably a couple other people or whatever. And Wendy Williams was basically saying how, you know, everybody was having just a grand time. You know, obviously them hanging out hit the social media and hit the media platforms, and clips and pictures and videos came out of them too, just having a very great time, looking awesome, might I add. So, you know, Blac Chyna went out with Wendy Williams, and, you know, a lot of people were kind of like, you know, ooh, that's kind of, you know, that's really big, and wow, like, I can't believe them, you know, they actually, you know, linked up, which is kind of, you know, hard to imagine, you know, because Wendy Williams has talked a lot of stuff about Blac Chyna in a negative way, as she does a lot of people. And, you know, it was kind of shocking, like, oh, okay. You know, Wendy Williams is going out, you know, I do believe Wendy's in her 50s, and Blac Chyna's like 31, you know, so it's about a 15 to 20 year difference there. But still, you know, I just think it's awesome for Wendy Williams to be getting out, and she did get teary-eyed during one of her shows while she was talking about, you know, her escapades and her having a good time and things like that, and she got choked up saying that, you know, her son was happy to see her having fun and things like that. So it's just really awesome that Wendy Williams is moving forward and doing the damn thing. And you know, a lot of people, like I said before, was like, why, you know, is Blac Chyna and Wendy Williams like, so, you know, like, how did they kick it off out of all people, you know? And I really do think it's because they have a lot in common, even though it's such an age difference and they come from two different type of backgrounds. You know, I do think that them two, they have a lot in common, okay? And so Blac Chyna actually did an interview today on The Breakfast Club, and when she did her interview, she basically talked about her hanging out with Wendy Williams and doing different things with her and having a good time. And Blac Chyna did actually say, we have a lot in common.
few more interviews and stuff. Do you enjoy doing interviews or no? That's not.
This is my second real interview.
Yeah, you was
Wendy
real open
Williams.
with Wendy.
I was
yesterday.
surprised when they said Blac
This is
Chyna
like
was
my-
coming. I was
yeah.
like, really? She's gonna come do an interview? I
I
didn't
definitely
believe
thought
it.
she was gonna cancel.
Didn't you and Wendy have beef?
I never had, well, just a little bit, but it's squashed. And Wendy's like really cool, and we have a lot of stuff in common actually.
Really? She took you to dinner last night?
Yeah.
Charlamagne and Wendy.
Somebody's little name came up.
For real? What they say about me?
Little birdie.
Tell us about him. Give us some scoop.
I don't know. You tell us.
You ever seen a picture of
I'm just messing
Charlamagne
with
sitting
you.
on Wendy's lap?
Yes.
You seen that picture?
I was waiting for. I was like,
Somebody bring it up.
She took you out to dinner though.
Yeah.
Where'd y'all go eat?
Ooh, some Mediterranean spot. I don't know. It was fire though, and I ordered
paid?
so much food.
Who paid?
Miss Wendy did.
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Don't ever go
So
out.
I'm
So
not a
classy.
rule.
Don't go to
She's
dinner
so
with Charlamagne because he'll
Charlamagne's
make
a
you
bird.
pay.
I don't. If I'm out with somebody that got more money than me, it's disrespectful for me to pay.
How do you know? Oh, okay. So you gonna take me out? Oh, you can't take nobody. You married. My bad.
That's right. What'd y'all talk about at dinner? She was giving you game about like just life.
I mean, not really, but we was just like kicking it, like just kicking it, eating,
Yeah.
having like a good time, like and really enjoying ourselves.
So it made you just be like, you know what? Whatever you said about me in the past, cool. I get it.
Yeah, I
We're
mean, I
past
feel
that.
like that's her job. That you know what I mean to like do that, and it is in the past. Like, okay, it happened. We're gonna dwell on it. No.
What's your relationship like with your mom?
You know, like I said, I truly believe that Wendy Williams and Blac Chyna hit it off because Blac Chyna went through pretty much kind of the same thing with Tyga and the Kylie situation as Wendy Williams is going through now. I do think it's little things, little dynamics of both of their relationships that were different. Wendy Williams was with her husband obviously for 20 plus years, and his affair with his mistress was, a very long time. And I do believe that Wendy Williams knew about it, and I do believe Wendy Williams tolerated it, and I do believe that the only reason why Wendy Williams, divorced him was because he did have a child. I do believe that Wendy Williams would have sat there and ate her food and, dealt with with the cards she was dealt with her husband, as long as that he didn't step out and be, just ultra disrespectful with, impregnating this woman with the child, okay? But, I do think Blac Chyna and Wendy Williams have a lot in common. As Blac Chyna was saying on the show, and as everybody knows, she was in a committed relationship with Tyga. Blac Chyna and Tyga were not married, but they did have a son together. Just like Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter had a son together. And he ended up having an affair and ended up leaving her. And it was very public. I'm sure it was very embarrassing. And, for Blac Chyna, it was someone that she knew. The person that Tyga left her for, Kylie Jenner, was somebody that she knew very well, and, a family and a group of, socialites that she interacted with a lot. So she was very, very hurt. And, transferring over to Wendy's side, Wendy, in her situation with Kevin, Sharina was hooked up with Kevin Hunter apparently through Charlamagne. So, excuse me, Kevin Hunter started his affair with Sharina, and this all started amongst groups of people that they all knew. Wendy Williams and Charlamagne were friends. They were co-hosts. Charlamagne introduced Sharina to Kevin. They ended up getting together. So, it's kind of like that connection there with Wendy Williams, being in like the same circle with these people, and, her very own group, is responsible for Kevin Hunter and Sharina being together. And it's kind of like the same thing with Blac Chyna. She was good friends with these people, and, they didn't care. And, despite them being in the same group together, they didn't really care about, Blac Chyna, and ended up doing what they did anyway. So, I think they do have a lot in common. They have a lot of things in common. I do. Wendy Williams, had a previous drug problem. I'm not sure if Blac Chyna has a drug problem or a previous drug problem, but, she is from Southeast DC. Blac Chyna is from Southeast DC, and I don't know if y'all ever been to Southeast DC, but it's the worstest part in DC. I'm just gonna put it like that. Like, it ain't no joke out there. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm pretty sure that Blac Chyna has been around drug use, and she's been around violence and crime. So, they do, I really do genuinely understand how, they linked up and got together, and, you know, hit it off and had such a ball, you know. And, you know, although Wendy Williams has talked about Blac Chyna a lot, which she's admitted, Wendy Williams has admitted, and Blac Chyna agreed, you know, Wendy Williams has talked about Blac Chyna a lot. But I also do feel like, you know, because Blac Chyna comes from a profession of dancing, and then even before dancing, coming from that hood, gutter environment, I'm pretty positive that Blac Chyna has went through so much and has been talked about so much and has been through so much family bullshit and has been through a lot of things that, you know, she could probably easily put aside, you know, somebody doing their job and kind of throwing her to the wayside to do her job, but somebody doing her job and looking past that and being understanding, you know, because when you come from a hood environment, you're very understanding, because you see a lot of bad shit. So there's a lot of things that don't surprise you, you know. So, you know, and as for myself, you know, I've been through a lot, and I do know that, you know, people feel very comfortable with talking to me. You know, people, they trust me with their business because, you know, they just sense something. You know, I just been through shit, so nothing really surprises me. There may be a couple things that surprise me, but, you know, 85% of the time, you know, it's a lot of things where I could just be like, oh, okay, you know, okay, you went through that, or you did that, like, damn, like, okay, that's cool, you know, like, let's move forward, let's talk about, let's find solutions. And I do think that Blac Chyna is that type of girl where she's just like, you know, hey, girl, it's fine, girl. I was raised by Tokyo Tony, a crazy ass. You know, I was lived in the hood, probably was fucked out, had to do a whole bunch of shit that I didn't want to do for money. Girl, you good. You know, I understand you. We see each other, you know. And so, you know, I do, you know, understand why they became, you know, close and went out and had fun. And like I said, I'm happy that Wendy Williams is getting her feet out there, doing her thing, and, you know, hanging out with people. You know, who would have thought that ex-stripper, you know, turned LA socialite, who was on Wendy Williams's roster, you know, roasting for years and years and years. Who would have thought that, you know, Blac Chyna, ex-stripper, and Wendy Williams, you know, big, you know, radio host turned TV host turned, you know, clothing stylist, just all this. Who would have thought that them two would actually have something to connect on when it seems like they come from such different backgrounds? So I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm happy that Wendy Williams seems like she's getting back on track. So that's good. So anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for tuning into my video. Before you leave, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Come back, view my videos. I got way more to say.